Welcome to the listening chair. My name is Ray, also known as Hi-Fi Turtle. Today I'm doing a review for the Lampizator Genya DAC. This is a tube DAC design from Polish manufacturer Lampizator, a limited edition at that. Only 50 of these units will be produced. It's been my absolute pleasure to listen to the Zenya, and I think you're going to really want to stick around for this review. Let's get into it. The chip used in the digital stage of the Zenya is not disclosed by Lampizator. However, it is not their first time using this chip. Actually, it's not the first time they've used this board before. The reason why the Zenya is limited to 50 units is because it is using boards that originated from the trade-up program from the Horizon 1 DAC back in 2023. As a result of this trade-up program, Lampizator was left with about 50 boards that were in fantastic condition, measured absolutely perfectly, and Lucas Ficus, who is the owner and chief designer of Lampizator, saw no reason to destroy these boards or throw them away because they were still perfectly good and functioning. So he decided to make a limited edition run in the Zenya, a tribute to his mentor, Yevgeny Kremensky, who went by the nickname Zenya. Yevgeny was a Ukrainian electrical engineer who loved tube designs, specifically the series-regulated push-pull design. And as you may infer, the Zenya is exactly that, a series-regulated push-pull design with absolutely zero feedback. This is a very utilitarian DAC, maximizing performance in the objective to minimize cost. It is a plain black box, not super high-end on the finishing. There are no additional finishes available. It's black, and you're gonna like it like that. There are no volume controls. There are no screens, no fancy lights, nothing of the sort. There is a single button on the front of the unit for selection of the inputs. And the inputs you have are digital coax, optical, AES, and USB. And as far as outputs go, you have a single set of unbalanced and a single set of balanced. And that is all you get. I thought that the button on the front for this selection would be just a cheap button, but it actually seems very nice and premium. If you're a fan of mechanical keyboards and you press this button to select the inputs, I think you'll come away pleasantly surprised at the actuation of this button. The Lampizator Zenya is priced at 19,950 euros or $20,950. The Zenya already comes with a full complement of tubes, and if you're going to listen, they recommend you turn on the unit at least an hour before that happens to allow the tubes to warm up fully. If that seems like too long for you to wait, you can leave this unit on all the time. And Lampizator says that the included tubes are not very expensive, and the replacements are not very expensive either. However, you do have the option to roll a series of different tubes into the Zenya if you choose. So if you are going to use the more expensive tubes, certainly you probably want to turn the unit off, but if you're just using the stock tubes, they don't see a reason why you couldn't just leave the unit on all the time. My reference listening room is on the smaller side. It is 11 feet wide and 15 feet long and features a full complement of listening treatments, including a ton of absorption on both the ceiling, sidewalls, and front walls with bass traps, as well as some diffusion provided by Vicoustic. In my system with the Zenya was the Electrocompagnie ECM1 Mark II streamer and DAC, the Benchmark LA4 preamplifier, the SPL M1000 monoblock amplifiers, and the Wilson Audio Sabrina Series 1 speakers. All cabling provided by Kimber Cable in various assortments and ranges. The Zenya is a very highly resolving DAC while maintaining perfect instrument separation and wonderful air around them. The overall tonality is extraordinarily natural and avoids all the glare and harshness that can certainly be associated with some digital conversion. On a wonderful jazz track like Autumn Leaves by Chet Baker, we can hear all the instruments in this track in all their glory. Certainly, Chet's trumpet is the focus of this track, and the air around Chet's trumpet really gives it a wonderful naturalness to it, while never becoming harsh, and just feels like you're in a jazz club listening to this live. It's really that realistic because it has this wonderful naturalness to the sound reproduction and just doesn't come off as artificial or cold as I've heard with certain other DACs. Switching up to a more vocal track like Oh Death by Billy Bass and features Lauren Pauly, the harmonization of Billy and Lauren during parts of this track are absolutely wonderful. The contrast of Lauren's voice with Billy's couldn't be more different, but they work and harmonize so beautifully when listening to the Zenya. And again, the separation of those two vocals feel like they never get muddled, but rather work in a true harmony to give you absolute clarity, wonderful lifelikeness, and just a really deep, chesty feel to Billy's voice with a soaring sparkliness to Lauren's. And then switching it up to something a little bit more contemporary, and one of the few Opeth songs that I can recommend to a very broad audience is Atonement, which features a little bit of vocals later in the song, but is primarily an instrumental song featuring guitars, drums, piano, and bass, with various effects that are applied onto the guitar and the vocals both during this track. One of the things that comes out in about the halfway point is this wonderful display of hand drums. I don't know if I don't want to call them bongos, but they are some sort of hand drum that occurs in this track. And I always love hand drums because I feel like they have a wonderful depth and a body that can really enhance the overall experience of a song. And certainly in Atonement, the depth, the realness, the sound staging, the body of these hand drums halfway through this track is wonderful on the Zenya. And again, just very natural sounding, very lifelike, never harsh, never feels like digital. It feels like live. And it's just a feeling that I don't think I've experienced with any other DAC that I've heard this particular song on. Being that the Zenya is a tube design, I think the first place a lot of people will go is, oh, this has to sound warm. It has to sound syrupy. And I don't think that the Zenya is warm or syrupy at all. I also don't think that it's forward, cold, and bright. I think it is very neutral, but very resolving. I don't think that it has a particular character one way or another. I think some people could get it twisted and think that perhaps it is a tinge cold or a tinge bright or a tinge forward, but that is just because of the highly resolving nature of this DAC. When you take that and match it with the absolute naturalness that comes across on any instrument, on any vocal being played through this device, you will see that it is certainly not forward, cold, or bright. It is certainly neutral, but very, very resolving, very resolute, and will unveil all the details of the music that you may have previously missed. Bass is quick, it is punchy, it is well delivered, it is full-bodied, it has a wonderful snappiness to it. Even though it is a lower frequency, it never feels like just wobbling in the air. It is there and it serves a purpose, and it is very focused on the Zenya. The mid-range quality is among the best that I have ever heard, especially now on the Wilson Sabrina, where I feel like I've said this before in other videos and other times that Wilson has the best mid-range of any speaker company on the planet. It is only made to the nth degree better by the Zenya's ability for natural, layering, separated, and breathy, airy vocals on display. The imaging can only be best described as holographic, with a true 3D image of the singer in the room, a real lifelike presentation of any vocal high quality track. I would say a very good competitor to the Zenya would be the DCS Bartok. Now, I'm mostly familiar with the original Bartok and not the Apex version that is the current release. However, I will say that the DCS Bartok was my dream DAC. I thought that it was extraordinarily resolving. I thought the sound staging and imaging of that DAC is second to none. But the Zenya is a very good competitor to this. I think the Zenya is more natural sounding. I think the timbre of instruments on the Zenya is more natural, more realistic. I think that it comes off just more detailed because of that. It feels like it is more highly resolving than the Bartok. I think the Bartok does have the Zenya beat when it comes to the wideness and the depth of sound staging, so you're gonna have to pick your poison here. But I think, again, the Zenya offers a great competitor to that unit and certainly is deserving of the title, a high-end DAC. If you like this review and want to see more, make sure you like this video, subscribe to The Listening Chair, and check out more reviews, articles, and resources at www.thelisteningchair.net. Also, join our fast-growing Facebook group where members are showing off their systems from all over the world.